robots who we might bump into. You try and run this.
I'm very competitive robots in my head, but yes, I do.
Listen, I know the press is going to roll shortly. Let's get on the move. Luke, do you want to come round and swing around in front of us for a sec? As we pass by, Luke might be able to pick up, I'm sure you can see him in the background, these giant rolls of paper. How many Evening Standards do you get out of one of those?
We get about 30,000 Evening Standards out of one of these rolls, and it would take 5 of them to make up
the paper I've got here that I bought on the street today.
Exactly.
How many do you print in one run?
Well, in one run we'll probably print somewhere in the region of 150,000 per edition.
Really? And you're doing that, 5 times a day, 5 editions? That's a fair old
not all that number.
Look, before we go through, let me just point this out to you. In fact, let's go over here, Graham. As you can see, it's a bit like the streets of New York. Here's a ground level version. These are also coming out of the ceiling for various pints. What are they doing?
They're simply humidifiers. This place is very large and the reels absorb loads of moisture. So we have to pump into the atmosphere loads of water to make up for the moisture the reels take out.
It's like being in a tropical greenhouse.
Lovely.
It really is, isn't it? The only other place I've been that's like this, Graham, is Kew Gardens, I think.
And that's the only other place you'll find the sort of humidifiers we've got.
Yeah.
Definitely not in another newspaper. Kew Gardens is the only place you'll find them.
Right, now we're moving through here and we're going to go up a couple of floors. If you can stay with us, Luke and Nigel. I know it's a bit difficult getting our team through here, but Graham, tell us what happens on this first floor that we're approaching now.
Well, we've just seen where the reels live and now fed up into the press. And here's where the actual printing's done.
Right.
Now, once we've retrieved the negatives from editorial, you saw them being made up, we turn them into plates, photopolymer plates. That's a relief plate, much like your potato kit when you were at school. We ink that up, clip it onto the press, that presses into the paper,
right,
and we've got a printed copy.
Now, the reason I stood here and had that conversation is because it's slightly noisy through there, but let's go and see if we can actually identify some of those plates on the rollers. Graham, just take us through. There's one here, look. Can we have a look at one of these? That's one of the plates.
That's an old plate from the last edition.
Right.
That's been taken off. You can feel it's rough.
I don't know if you can see that, Luke. It's actually quite difficult getting any sound here at all, but raised relief, a bit like the potato cut that Graham described there. These are inked up, printed onto those huge paper rolls. Okay, let's try and head to slightly quieter. Can we move upstairs? Go around. Are you with me? Okay, we're moving up here now. And the presses are actually rolling now.
Yes.
Well, look at that. I just let you have a look. It's quite spectacular, Luke. I don't know if you can just sneak a little view in there. There are the presses rolling. I might actually take advantage here of a lip mic. I'm going to keep going upstairs, but at least as I talk to you through this lip mic, you might hear me rather better. As you can see, these giant rolls of paper feeding the uncut versions of, I think this is about the 4th edition of the Evening Standard today. Let's go along to the top here and take a look at this. Graham, just come this way a minute. I'm going to have to translate, but we can't miss a shot like this, Luke. That's a fantastic view of the presses in action. This is part of, I think, as I say, the 4th print run this afternoon. And I don't know, Luke, whether you can see over here what looks like a roller coaster. Let me just help Jonathan there. There are the newspapers coming down, neatly folded in little holders and all shooting off towards the dispatch area. Let's go up to the top deck now. Graham, take us up to the top. And we'll move beyond this deck, still rolling off the presses, to the very top area, where I think I might be able to talk to you, Graham, normally again.
This is where your nose starts to bleed up here.
I tell you, this humidity is extraordinary. Let me hand this mic back to Nigel a moment. Now, Nigel, I don't know if you can get a reasonable sound feed from us both. I feel like Sophie Tucker doing one of those jazz routines. How do you stay so cool up here?
Now you know why we don't wear coats at work.
Now this is where you come up and take an overview. Luke, come and have a look. Come and have a look around here. Look at this nice top shot of the presses in action. How long will the presses run for, Graham?
On this, they'll run for about 45 minutes on this edition.
45 minutes?
45 minutes.
That's a significant run, isn't it?
Oh yes, it's a large run. This is the sort of main news run of the day. This is when, during the day, all the news events have happened. It's all in our paper. We can capture all this because it's Everything happens in the day, very little happens at night.
Well,
So
look, what I'm intrigued by now is to find out where all this is going. It's all going down to dispatch. I'm going to head down there at the moment. Thank you very much for showing me around. I'm going to go off under my own steam for a while. Thank you for that. Take care, Graham. Let me leave Graham for a minute. Now we've got actually quite a long journey. I'll let the boys through. I'll try to only talk where you can hear me. It is a bit like the engine room of a ship, and these are a little bit like stairwells on a car ferry. I'll open another door there. It really is very, very warm in here. I think this is probably the last gate down to the ground floor. Now what I need to do is to find the dispatch area now. I'll just take Graham's advice on this. I think it's through here. Am I heading this way, Graham? No, let me just check with Graham. Graham, just tell me when I get to dispatch from here.
through the door in.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can come over here for a moment. Just, excuse me, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can. What's your name?
Bert.
Bert?
Yeah.
What's your job title down here, Bert?
Operator.
Operator. What are you doing?
Operator.
Are you taking these papers off the press into the bins?
Yeah, I was just clearing it so it doesn't jam up.
Right. Let's just take a look at them coming through there, Luke. There's a nice close shot. And I'll move on towards dispatch. I'm going to pick up Graham once again. Graham, where do I get to the dispatch area?
This way here. Through the door and down the stairs.
Thank you very much. So Graham said through the door and down the stairs. That's where I'm heading. I can just drop my voice level a bit now. It's got slightly quieter. Are you all right, Luke? You're doing a grand job there. Nigel's still behind, umbilically linked, because this is the nature of this beast. Some people would say what we do is a complete lunacy, but I wonder if I can step over here, and I think just taking advice now on where the dispatch area is. It's up here, past these giant roads. I did mention that something like 1.1 million people read the Evening Standard. That's, they reckon 2.6 people, 2.6 read each copy. So that's 500,000 or so on a production run. But 2.6 people, I reckon I'm the 0.6s. I certainly read it every day on the train on my way home. And now we're looking for this door here. I think this will take us through to, let's just try this. Of course, on these instant hits, yup, through this one down the little corridor. This is getting significantly quieter. This must be the dispatch area. Let's get up here and take a look at this first of all. Perhaps I can bring you down to the first deck. Luke, you might like to just take a general look around. This is certainly dispatch. You can see one or two gents down there wrapping up the quires of newspapers. They've been folded, they've been cut, they've been packaged. They're going to be strung up, they're going to be put into boxes, and eventually they'll go out onto the streets. Let's go down and see if we can buttonhole one of these gents. They're not expecting us. I think we've got a minute or two remaining. Let's just try one gent here, because this is what we do. Hello, sir, what's your name?
Billy. All right.
Right, what are you doing here?
Show you.
You're looking after, how many newspapers are in one of these bundles?
75 copies.
75 copies. Well, there you go. That's the information we needed to know. 75 copies in each bundle. Let's go here. And I'm just going to lead you in the final seconds of this